Spellcasters kinda blow in Legacy. Pretty much every one of them got kneecapped in the transition. Some directly, some by changes to the flow and the pace of the game. I guess we can start with Terran this time. The Ghost is in kind of a mess spot right now. Snipe is super underwhelming, requiring an entire 2.14 seconds of not taking damage before its spell even does anything. I understand that they wanted counterplay options, but here the counterplay seems piss easy. Maybe they could shorten the time, or maybe they could make it a damage threshold rather than any amount of damage at all. Dunno. EMP is one of my least favorite abilities in the game. It's technically a projectile, but it travels at the speed of fuck you, so it's not really dodgeable unless you hard read with blink stalkers. It does all of its damage instantly, unlike Storm, where you can still juke out of it since it's damage over time. It's not even that hard to hit either. It's an AoE ability that's easily spammable and doesn't really matter if you stack them up because the effects compound on each other. Maybe if it was a projectile and either slowly drained shields and energy, or the effects didn't stack unless there was a few seconds between shots. To me it feels like EMP is the ability that's making the Ghost just strong enough to prevent any major buffs to its other abilities. Nerfing it would allow buffs to things like Snipe and Nuke while also allowing counterplay options for the opposing player. Moving on, the Raven fucking sucks. And now on to Protoss. Just kidding, the Raven got kneecapped hard because of its ability to make free armies just like Swarm hosts. I would like it if the auto turret stays in its weakened state, but point defense drones get sort of left alone. Point defense drones arguably weren't the problem, auto turrets were. By doing a double nerf, they sort of invalidated the unit. I was watching Flash vs. Innovation in the GSL round of 32 on the Cactus Valley. Yeah, I know I'm really behind, fight me. I couldn't stop thinking to myself, wow, Ravens are really fucking boring. Why is it that you can move out a Seeker Missile and make it completely useless? That isn't counterplay, that's just walking away from the spell. Some of the most hype moments in StarCraft come from when people have to do damage control in a bad situation. What worse situation than everything about to explode in 3 seconds? Being able to just right click behind your army and call it good is really mundane. It doesn't require any skill. I prefer we just take this back to its old form, and once it's locked on for good. It would force players to have to split rather than just walking away indifferently like a teenager dodging his fussy mom. Now on to Protoss. High Templar feels like shit right now. Don't get me wrong, Storm is still really good, but the pace of the game increased a lot, and the High Templar just doesn't feel fast enough. It's essential against Terran because Disruptors are so underwhelming against them, but it feels like a lot of the time they simply can't keep up. Maybe a minor speed increase is in order. Also, don't get me started on every Protoss unit having an active ability. Adding in another one doesn't make Micro any easier. Oracles are still pretty meh. I really like the way Stasis Mine functions, and I like how the Vision ability functions. Those things are really cool. Thing is, they're still trying to wear the skin of a cool dude harass unit. Either make it a harass unit all the way, or make it a spellcaster. It's awkward having a unit that functions as both. Might I recommend replacing Pulsar Beam with an air-to-air splash ability that helps deal with clumped mass air, since Protoss still has no fucking answer to that. Zerg! Vipers are fucking dumb. Its first ability is an AoE that messes with pathing and AI of ground units. Its second ability is an AoE versus air that's meant to counter clumped forces. The main counter to this ability is splitting your air units. Its third ability is a single target tongue thing that counters small amounts of large expensive units. Are we making new units, Blizzard, or are we making the same units but with wings? Hey, I've got a crazy idea. Maybe if Infestors are too weak, we should buff the Infestor. I think the Viper is infinitely worse in how its abilities function too, because a lot of them have no counterplay. How do I counter Blinding Cloud? Back the fuck up. How do I counter Yoink? Well, I can't really, unless I feed back the Vipers before they even yoink, which isn't really counterplay now, is it? That's like saying the way to get good grades is to not get bad grades in the first place. Yeah, it's true, but that doesn't really help me now, does it? Spellcasters as a whole feel underwhelming. I hope we can get some blanket buffs or reworks to their spells so that hopefully they'll see more play again. My name is Walnut. Be sure to share your thoughts on my thoughts, and your thoughts on my thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to follow me on Twitch and Twitter and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys next time.